blows your hair back, baby?
What's up, guys? I'm Tyler. Whatever blows your hair back. I'm here with Luke. We're going to talk about the fights from over the weekend, the Haney fight, and then we're going to talk about the Chicago fights that were over the weekend just because we're from Chicago. Anyways, Luke, tell them what we're going to tell them about. Tell them what we're going to talk about.
So, as Tyler already mentioned, we're going to be speaking about, we had a great night of fights last Thursday at Joe's on Weed, local boxing put on by River West, USA Boxing sanctioned. It was a great night. And then over the weekend, we had Devin Haney and his devastating performance over Regis Prograis. We'll talk a little bit about that and how he totally dominated. And then looking forward to this weekend, we got another big weekend of boxing. We got the Day of Reckoning, which will have Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. I think Bivol's on that card. It's a huge card for boxing. A bunch of good fighters on there. And then we also have your boy Jake Paul fighting on DAZN. He's fighting his first official boxer, not an MMA guy. Not a well-known boxer, but a boxer. So it will be a test of his actual skills, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, bring that up. Right there, we got me and Luke and Steph. Anyways, that's us rocking that freaking show. And
we rocked that.
Yeah, look how sweet we look. We're all wearing blue and we're matching and stuff like that. Anyhow, that was the Joe's on Weed Street, and we did a production, all of us on that.
So we were down at Joe's on Weed. We brought the setup. We were interviewing fighters before and after their fights. We had our lovely partners going and retrieving the sweaty fighters from their ring walk out after they won, bring them over. They were talking to us right after their fight when they're on that high still from it. Families coming over, real proud watching their loved ones get in that ring and show what they got. It was a great show overall. We had the commissioner of USA Boxing for Illinois, Sean Talon, stop in, tell us kind of about the state of boxing and what that's going to look like next year. He's already got 9 shows on the map. There might even be one at this very studio. We don't know, but that is something we have to look forward to. In the main event, we had one of our, someone we're familiar with that we know, Lalo, and his guy Eddie Camacho. And he won a unanimous decision, and it was a pretty great performance by Eddie. It was great to see him come out there and show his stuff at Joe's on Weed. What was really cool about that was normally these amateur bouts are at a gym, a park district. You might get at a country club, a private event, but this was at a local Chicago staple bar. So it was kind of cool to have that whole atmosphere there. And then moving on to the weekend, the pro fight, we had Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. And there was a lot of trash talk leading up to the fight about most going back and forth. Haney saying that he's not on the same level. Prograis saying that he's soft. Well, Haney went in there and dominated. Start to finish, there was no question who was the winner. I mean, give it props to Regis Prograis. He fought, but he couldn't do nothing. He had no answer. Haney just did everything beautiful. Very technically sound. He looked stronger, moving up in weight class. So it's going to be interesting to see what fight happens next for Mr. Haney. I know there's been talks about him and Tank Davis. That would be amazing. I wouldn't mind seeing him, fight Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, all these guys. But we'll see what happens. You know how hard it is to make some of these fights in pro boxing. Now, moving on to this weekend, we have upcoming. First, we have the Day of Reckoning, whether this will be on the DAZN. We got a couple big heavyweight bouts. Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. Anthony Joshua, he's been up and down. He was the champ. He got knocked out by Ruiz. He came back. He lost to Usyk as well. Fought a good fight there. And he's fighting Otto Wallin, which last time I saw him, he got knocked out by Tyson Fury. So should be Joshua's favorited. Then we also have Deontay Wilder bringing up Tyson Fury again, who had the trilogy with him. He will be in there fighting against Joseph Parker, who I believe got knocked out in his last fight. So we're looking at a couple maybe knockouts from the heavyweights. And then what I'm honestly looking forward to the most out of that card is we got Bivol coming back. Dimitri Bivol from the guy who beat Canelo down thoroughly. He will be back in the ring defending his belt for the first time since then. So I'm excited about that.
And
then we going over to the Jake Paul card. He will be fighting Andre August, his first official boxer, professional boxer. I believe Mr. August is counting like an 8-1 record or something like that. He's 10-1-1. He's got a 5-win streak. He did get knocked out, but he's a pro boxer, so it's different than that. He's been fighting MMA guys. So the specificity of boxing and shotsing is very different, and the defense and all the tactics are a little bit different. So you notice that Jake Paul has been able to step up and fight and compete with some of these guys, but at the same time, do we know, is this the real deal, or is it just all prefixed bullshit to make money? That's the thing about those Paul fights. He's bringing attention, but at the end of the day, I don't know how real that is. What do you think, Tyler?
Man, I don't know. I like Jake Paul. I think he's good for the sport. I think a lot of people think he's good for the sport. He's a good marketer. He's a good shit talker. People don't give that enough credit in the sport. Mayweather's a king of that. Jake Paul's right there with him on that. And I think Jake Paul was a shit talker before a boxer. And Mayweather was a boxer before a shit talker. And then kind of blended in, and so they kind of came in different ways. But it shows you that they do both got some time in the sport. They both mesh well together in the sport at different times coming in.
And the importance of the shit talking is the promotion. That's the marketing. Dude. If you're not in there talking shit, no one's going to be talking about your fight. Even if you're the best fighter, that is really these days the hype leading up to the fight is what builds those fights and makes those fighters money.
You know who did a good one was Haney. Devin Haney. He talked some good shit. Did you watch that? Did you watch the?
Yes, I did.
And it kind of got heated. They were going at each other about the ages. They were like, "I'm 24. You're 34. I'm 34. You're 24." They kept. You only been boxing for this long. I've been boxing since I was 4. I've been boxing since I was 20 years. You've been boxing from 30 and you're 34. So did you see where his angle was there?
Yeah.
So those are good points, and I think Devin went in there and he showed him what's up. Man, that was really good. He beat his ass with didn't even take any damage.
I believe they said it might have been on CompuBox the lowest scoring offensive fight for a fighter from Regis Prograis. He didn't really touch Haney. Haney looked like he was fresh out the barbershop, just with a little sweat on him.
He was. Fight. You know, Prograis did a good job of getting losing too. He lost well, but he definitely lost that fight.
Yeah, I mean, he was really exposed a lot of his. I will say some of the things that he needs to work on. He really was leaning in a lot with his shots, and Haney was just getting him space, stepping back, and hitting him in the head when he would come downstairs with his right hand. There's a lot of stuff like that. Those bad habits just came out, and he couldn't get past Haney's jab. Haney's showing that he is a master of distance, which in relations to great fighters, that's what I think Floyd's best skill was mastering that distance. You think he's close enough to touch, but he's just out of range.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Luke. What else we got to discuss here? What do we got in front of us here? Change it. So we got a snowboard in front of here. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Chicago, it's Christmas time, and it's snowing. We got the snowboard out, and I'm pretty excited to go snowboarding next week. I don't know if Luke is. I don't know if the Water Blows Your Hair Back team can get on the slopes.
Where are you going at?
So there's a couple places around here. Alpine Valley, which is about 40 minutes. North, but I'm from Michigan, and I snowboarded all the hills in northern Michigan, like up on Sheboygan, Boyne Mountain. I also done all of California, the big mountains out there, and Colorado. So I've been around in it, so I don't really get that much excited to go like, oh, what's the new big hill? Because I know there's nothing that can hit the hills out where I've been snowboarding. Anyway, we want to bring our viewers to Chicago, to the snow and snowboarding, baby. We're supporters of it. Let's get back to boxing. What do we got? We talked about the fighters coming up. Luke did. We talked about the fights. Can we talk about some of the fights that we have that we went and filmed on deck, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, the one that I can specifically recall the most was the main event. We had Eddie Camacho of Unanimous Boxing in there with a guy I'd seen around. He was a tough fighter. It went all 3 rounds, and it came down to a unanimous decision. But, man, every time you watch Eddie fight, it's pressure. He's always coming forward. If you punch him, he's coming back with 3 punches.
He's a tall guy.
He's tall. And,
he's tall. And you know who trains him? Our main guy, Lalo. We got a sweet interview with Lalo and Eddie and all those guys on our files here. We're just really struggling to get edited to put out to the people, but we have all the content from that fight up closes and not even up close. We have so much of that fight, and we're just struggling to get it released out there on time, aren't we, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up. It's in the process, but hopefully you be out there for the next one. You ain't got to wait for the footage to come out, but when it does, it's going to be a good watch.
Even out there viewing likes whatever blows your hair back. We're really trying to grow the team, and we need to get an editor. So,
do you know one? Any editors out there looking for work that maybe have like boxing and stuff like that?
We have editors, but the time it takes to gather all the footage, keep the footage in context from the event that you went to, upload it, keep the quality of the video that you made, send it off, get it done right by a person you trust, is sent back in public. It is a whole production.
Pain in the ass.
We need help. Yes. We need help with it. So, anyways, that's my call out. What else we got to talk about, Luke?
I want to bring it back around to kind of we touched on. I want to know what's your thoughts and what's your feeling on all these Paul fights. He's now considered he's a pro boxer. What it takes to be a pro boxer is you paying to get your license, and passing a physical. He's got these fights against these MMA guys. Now he's going to fight a real deal. And it's just, I can't believe that they're taking money on all these things sometimes.
I think the hype of Jake Paul is going down. I don't mind it. I don't hate him. I was a fan. I still am. But I don't care if he's on a card. They put him on that card. You hear him talking about it. Eddie Hearn was talking about it. That he just puts this card coming up, the super card. Like you talked about all those 3 big fights. And they're like, well, how can we make sure and guarantee to make sure all these fights get what we want? Let's put a Jake Paul card on there because he brings in all the YouTubers, all the young fans, and he's the Logan Paul fans, and that's a whole whole graphics right there. Won't you say, Luke?
Yeah, and looking at the Paul card, there's really not a whole lot of other heavy hitters on it.
See, that's all. They put 3 heavy hitters and a bunch of who knows.
No, those guys aren't on the same card. Those guys are fighting on DAZN.
Yeah,
and then Paul's fighting on DAZN later on a different card.
He's not on the same card.
One's live from Riyadh, from Saudi Arabia. That's the Day of Reckoning with the heavyweights, and then Paul's.
That's with Wilder.
Yeah,
and Joshua.
Paul and them are they're not in the same.
I thought Paul was on that card.
They're not. It's the same.
Oh,
day.
so who's the third hard hitter on that card?
You got Bivol. You got Bivol, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder.
Oh, I forgot Bivol. All right.
So
then there's a Paul. They put him on his own card, just because he can sell so many tickets.
So that's it. That's gonna be at night. It looks like, and then we have Paul and Andre August fighting.
So they're all fighting on DAZN.
Yeah, DAZN.
That's why I was confused because DAZN's promoting it, and it was the same December something. This a close date. See, there's something they're trying to do here. They're trying to do something.
The Jake Paul one is not pay-per-view. The other one is.
Because Jake Paul said
so
he wanted to give a free
if you
fight.
subscribe to DAZN, you get that fight.
Yeah, thank God I am.
Yeah, but you have to pay-per-view for it on the other one.
Oh, all right.
Let me see here. Oh, so the Paul fight's in Orlando. So we got the one over in Saudi Arabia, the Day of Reckoning, and then the Paul card is in Orlando, Florida. The only other names that I'm really recognizing on there are the 2 ladies, which will be the co-main event. We got Shadeja Green and Franchon Cruz, who's been around for a while, both heavy hitters. Shadeja Green just fought our girl Olivia Curry, who is a Chicago female fighter. That was Curry. She done all the local pro on the Bobby Hits cards in Rosemont.
Yeah, I did a thing on her. She came in on the show.
She came in, talked to your boy Tyler.
Yeah, a couple times, maybe, but she didn't share it. So she's
not
not a supporter. She is not a supporter.
She got a shot against Shadeja Green as a last-minute fill-in on a DAZN card in Texas. She, I think she ended up losing by decision.
She lost.
She got, she lost, but she, Well, I mean, so the girl that beat her is fighting.
Yeah, and she's good.
Yeah, she's decent. And when we talk about women's boxing, the big thing right now that is going on is that they're fighting to have 3-minute rounds. If you didn't know, all men's pro boxing rounds are 3 minutes. Female rounds are 2 minutes. Now, Amanda Serrano just did a 3-minute fight. It was not sanctioned by any of the bodies. It was on one of the last Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight card, and they did the 3 minutes and it went great. But none of the sanctioning bodies have agreed to move it up to 3-minute fights.
I agree with that.
Agree with not moving
Not
it?
moving it, yes.
Why?
Because they can't go. Their body's just not built for that stamina to go that hard and long with the entertainment. You got to keep us entertained. I'll say it again. I said it a bunch of times.
There's a lot less knockouts in women boxing.
Women boxing does not entertain me as much as male boxing. That doesn't sell as many tickets either. Those are facts. The end.
Yeah, 2 minutes when they're a little short, they're supposed to pack a little more firepower. You ain't got as much time to kind of.
What do you
around.
think about it?
I could be on either side of it. It doesn't really bother me either way. They're saying that if they go to 3 minutes, we might get more knockouts because you're going to see people more fatigued, beat down a little bit. So you usually start to see those higher percentage knockouts at the end of those rounds, which will be interesting.
What else we got interesting to tell the people today? We talked about all the fights.
Well, sure, man. I've been doing a cold plunge. I'm on day 17 in a row doing a cold plunge every morning.
This man is on day 17 in a row doing the cold plunge.
If you haven't done that, you should try it. I do it for about a minute, maybe a little bit over now, going up. But it is probably the most transformative minute you can have. When you get out of there, man, you are a whole new person with a whole new attitude, ready to take on anything. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm thinking we're gonna have to get Tyler in there.
I hate the cold.
One of these. I hate the cold too.
I hate
the
cold.
It's doing something you don't want to do, but there is a very exhilarating reward.
But I'm here. I mean, I'll go out. Like I said, I'll go snowboard and stuff. But I do not enjoy the cold. Getting in the water, freezing. It's really tough.
Nobody does. It is very tough.
I think there are some people who do enjoy it. They just like.
No, you start to condition yourself to know that you're going to enjoy the
There it is.
aftermath.
All right, there it is.
But the actual experience is. It's the lead up is the worst. It's when you're in there, it's cold, but it's when you're thinking about it beforehand that's really where the pain's at. I mean, we coming around. We got the end of the year coming up.
It's pretty slow around the studio. Got the end of the year. A lot of the fighters going. They got they're being with their family. Got the holidays. It's really slow around the gym, and we're here for the holiday season, and we're trying to come up with content to get through. Keep you guys informed. I guess there's a lot of fights on the roster to keep us up. What else we got to tell the people today before we waste any more of their time?
Coming right back around. I'm also chipping away on sit-ups. Million sit-ups coming out.
This man has got all kinds of. You got the million sit-up challenge.
I like to keep myself busy.
He's got the cold.
I think we're at
the cold plunge challenge.
We're sitting right now in terms of sit-ups at 981,000 guys. Creeping on that million, scheduled to finish New Year's Eve. So that will be a great, great day. Can't wait for that to happen. I need about 1,000 a day every day.
Steps over there. Woo-hoo.
Ooh, I got a fan in the back, it's a day of reckoning this weekend. It was a day of reckoning in the studio today, but we showed up, and we're getting it done. As we learn, I think we're going to have a little more energy on the podcast because the setup, it strains you, it drains you, it trains you. But it's going to make us better in the long run. It is a skill, and if it was that easy, everybody would fucking do it.
Everyone says everybody is doing it. Like, that's like the rumor, like, oh, everyone's doing podcasts. Everyone might be talking in front of a computer screen, but 100% people are not going to events, setting up whole productions, streaming to events, giving one-on-one talks with all the fighters that nobody cares or knows about, taking and putting all that information online and editing it for that complete stranger. Nobody's doing that.
Which I actually want to bring that back around. It is quite an amazing thing. That's one thing about this man right here is that he's going out of his way. He has a dream. He just wants to highlight Chicago boxing. We rolled down to this event, whole media crew decked out with all this gear, set up, did interviews, and there's no money made from it. He wants to highlight these fighters, show these young, brave, courageous men, bring the sport up. The Chicago boxing does not get a lot of notoriety. It's around nationally.
Nowhere.
And it's a small community here, but I think, with the right promotion and stuff like this, it's going to start growing. And this man's going to be the guy, mark my words, this man's going to be the guy that starts.
We got hard hitters, too. We already got some cool people going to come by. We got people with a lot of following coming on the boxing Chicago community. We're starting to get recognized. There's that Chucky character. I don't know. Did you hear about him? I don't got my phone in front of me, but he's a good character. He's got like 1 million TikTok followers, and he's all about around Chicago. He's a pretty funny guy. So we're we're trying to put that. He's trying to come on. And who else do we got coming around? We're going to bring back our superstar drummer, Bangzilla. She's been growing huge. I don't know if you guys see some of our content. You're like, what's this girl drummer doing? It's someone we bought on, had some really good talent, did a production on her in the show. And she's going to be coming back saying hi. We're trying to find time to get her on. Who else? There's a couple other Chicago boxers. The fighters that are going to fight in the Golden Gloves. Like on the open side, we're going to bring those guys in, start talking. So we're going to start inviting people on our podcast once we can actually get it to where we can rely on it to get going.
Once they can come in, sit down, and then be on the show and not just have to
worry about 2 hours of setup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, it's all good.
And that's where the show's going. That's what's going on. Right now, it's holiday season. Happy holidays. Happy Christmas. The new year 2024 is coming. For all you tubby fat people out there who hasn't made your New Year resolution, who waited till a day that everyone's going to join you, shame on all of you who wait till the first. Shame on all of you. Right? Like, come on. Yeah. What do you think of New Year's resolutions of a person waiting to start something better for their life?
The best time to start is now.
The best time to start is when you look in the mirror and be like, ugh. You
best
start
time
now.
To start is now.
And then on the New Year's resolution, you can be ahead of all those people, and you look at them in the gym like, so you sweaty motherfuckers are now in here taking up all my gym time and area for what? You're going to be here for 2 weeks, and then you're going to lose your motivation. Anyway, man, I'm hating again. I'm good at shit talking. Yeah, I think that's all we got for these guys today.
Yeah. That's all we got for tonight. I'm looking forward. Tune into all the boxing this weekend. It should be good. I'm thinking there's going to be quite a few knockouts in those heavyweight fights. Men maybe in that Paul fight too. We'll see if he can take on that boxer.
You tune in next week with us. We're going to be talking about the fights. We're going to be here next week on Tuesday too. We're going to try our best. And we're, like I said, we're going to keep trying our best to get there. This is our third podcast. We did miss last week's. So we apologize about that, but we are really trying to stay on it with the consistency of our podcast.
Yep. We were on site last week. Now we just gotta get that shit.
Yeah. We went on. Yeah, when you travel, it's a lot of work. Yeah. But anyhow, I'm Tyler with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. Got our main man Luke, and we are signing out of here. Pow.